And titles.
And titles. Thank you very much.
Okay, and no more straps either.
That's right. We don't have straps. We never had straps here in World Wrestling Entertainment.
Well, we're only 2 days away from Backlash, of course, and
that.
so if you don't know who we are, you know who he is. I think I'm still Howard Finkel, and I think that's still Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Hey, I
Correct.
just want to go on record right now saying that I'm very, very honored and privileged to be sitting next to Mattitude version 1 and Matt Hardy version 1 with Mattitude oozing all over the big studio of Bite This.
It's going to be interesting because, you know, we didn't know you were going to be here until 5 minutes ago,
Yeah,
literally.
You never know who will pop up on Bite
So maybe today, as part of our show, maybe you can give a little bit of a quick primer to those out there who would like to find out what would it take to be a follower of Matt Hardy version 1.
Absolutely. It's very complicated, and there's several different levels on the hierarchy of Mattitude, because before you can ever become a Mattitude follower, you must qualify as a moron, which is the level underneath Shannon Moore. And we'll actually talk about that later. I'll go into a little more depth and explain that.
We have some guests here today, too, besides Matt Hardy. What?
No, I was just going to say, you know, you talk about.
Are you a yes man all of a sudden?
No. I was talking about MFers. You're an MFer, but it's not a Mattitude follower.
Right.
Well.
Well, today, in addition to Matt Hardy, who's on the screen right now,
Well,
we're also being joined this week by Kevin Nash, who certainly has had his share of situations here in WWE since he's been back, Dr. Tom.
Yeah, certainly, Howard. And I realize that Kevin Nash is one of those guys that controversy follows everywhere. And really, Howard, I knew about Matt earlier today, and there's something I've been wanting to ask Matt this whole time, because I know it's been all over the internet, and I realize that there's a lot of people out there, Matt, on not only the internet but in WWE fans who want to know the answer to the question, don't know if you can answer it, don't know if you really even want to address it, but this being Bite This and the controversial show that it is, we've got to ask you, what is the situation with Jeff?
Oh, that's a very good question, and I definitely anticipated getting that question being on this show. So we might as well go ahead and knock that out right from the beginning.
Why not?
Right now, I think the situation with Jeff is this. Jeff, obviously, his first love of anything in life has been professional wrestling and sports entertainment. And currently, I think Jeff's been in a rut for the last 6 to 8 months, possibly even a year. And even since we've split off, I've noticed, you know, we split from each other, and I've been on SmackDown, he's been on Raw. I've noticed even he's drifted farther away from really being passionate about sports entertainment, because he's got a lot of other things he's interested in, music, art, different things. And basically, it came to a point where Jeff had some things in his personal life that he needed to take care of. And between his personal life and the WWE, Jeff was torn between, and the WWE kind of wanted to make a choice to either fully do things and commit himself to the WWE or to take care of things in his personal life. So right now, Jeff is opted to take care of things in his personal life, and probably for right now, that's the right decision, because Jeff's heart isn't 100% into the WWE and the sports entertainment. And not to say that it won't be.
But taking away from the situation, Matt, that of course, you know, you both have been up and down the road for a few years with your wrestling careers, and you know, this is where it all started. From a standpoint of brother to brother, is he making the right move? Do you feel? You never say never in this industry, of course.
No, not at all. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think you can even ask me to answer that question for him, and I couldn't, because we're two completely different people. Although we are, you know, united by blood and blood brothers, you know, we definitely have different views and opinions. And know me, I would never want to leave. Like, you're going to have to kick me out of this joint, you know, before I leave. You know, Jeff, on the other hand, just has a different feeling right now. And will Jeff be back? I definitely think he will. I think it's basically a time where Jeff needs to go through a period of really finding out what he wants in life and what he wants to do, because he's just kind of burnt out. I mean, Jeff's very different from most other people. I'm very logic, Jeff's very abstract, and right now he just needs to find out what he wants to do.
Fair enough. Tom, don't you think?
Well, certainly I think so. And I've been reading the Hardy Boys book, and I can just tell with the different commentaries in there that, yeah, you and Jeff have totally different viewpoints on things. And that doesn't make for a bad combination all the time. Of course, when you put Michael Hayes in the mix, of course, everything, we know how that goes.
When you put Michael Hayes in the mix of anything, it makes for a bad combination.
Well, certainly it does. But I think you're right. I think that it's something that Jeff is going to have to figure out on his own. And I think sometimes it's good and even healthy to get away from something you've been that close to and that tied to. And when you don't really feel it, maybe just take a couple steps back. And I've got to agree with you. Jeff has a tremendous amount of talent, as do you, and I think it's going to just be a matter of time before Jeff realizes he either wants to stay away or come back, and I think they'll always be welcome.
Yeah,
I do too.
He'll definitely always be welcome. Jeff and the departure wasn't on bad terms at all. And one thing that I know Jeff has a huge following. It's unbelievable, his following. And I know he wants to say, thank you for all those people who support him. I've spent a lot of time with him the last few days. I know he'd like to have said that on air, but he didn't have the chance to. But I really, truly believe in my heart, I don't know if it's going to be 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years from now, Jeff will be back in the WWE.
Fair enough. We have Matt Hardy with us here for the beginning of Bite This week. We welcome your phone calls at 1-888-LIVE-WWE. And I believe we have a phone call right now.
Jesse.
It's going to be Jesse from Toronto, Canada. How's
TO.
everything up in TO? Are you okay? Are you healthy?
Oh, yeah, the Stars is all right. We're all right up here.
Well, we have the superstar right here, star, Matt Hardy.
Matt, first off, I'd just like to say my favorite aspect of a wrestler is that they love the business a lot, and I know you love the business a hell of a lot, and I just respect you a lot for that.
Thank you, man.
And I'd just like to say, or ask you a question about Crash Holly. Do you think there's too many people in the group now, or?
Oh, no, there can never be enough Mattitude followers. I mean, actually, if you'd come down, I'd probably put you in.
Actually,
You have to
yeah,
start out as a moron first,
what
right?
does
You
it
do.
take-
You probably do have to start as a moron.
What does it take to even have an inkling of a chance to be a Mattitude follower?
To have an inkling of a chance to be a Mattitude follower, you have to display to me Mattitude. You have to have some sort of glimpse of Mattitude within your heart and soul. And basically, Mattitude, when you sum it up, I do a lot of gimmicky things. Basically, Mattitude is the passion of Matt Hardy. And I think Shannon Moore has that lying deep within him somewhere.
Okay.
Crash Holly may not have it, but Mattitude works miracles for people, and Crash Holly wants to get it. So basically, if he can mold himself as Shannon is now, then maybe one day he can find Mattitude.
Last night I was having dinner with a friend of mine, and we discussed you, and we discussed Mattitude, and we discussed Shannon Moore, we discussed Crash, and another name came up, and you've had your differences with him, but if things were ever to work out, would you give any consideration to Brian Kendrick?
Oh,
being
very
a
good
Mattitude
answer.
follower?
Actually,
he seems
I-
to fit the mold.
I think Brian Kendrick would fit in rather well. And actually, you're not the only people. You're not the only person. There's been a lot of people that have said, I think Brian Kendrick would be real good in your group. I think he'd be a good little MFer. And I actually think he would too. Brian Kendrick is very talented, and his personality would fit very well into our local clique.
What do you think, Doc?
Well, again, I've been reading the Hardy Boys book, and I think you talk about version 1 from the Omega days.
Yes.
And thinking about this, coming full circle, actually not coming full circle, but you guys have come to the point where in your career, you really are looking at being a serious threat and getting the WWE Championship one day. You make the point in your book that you're as big as Ric Flair, you're as bigger than Shawn Michaels was. Why couldn't you do it? I think with the Mattitude and MFers following that you have in WWE, the natural progression is to just get on that next tier, get on that next level. And I've got to wonder, how far away do you think you are from that?
Well, you never know how far away you are, but you always have to see it ahead of you. You don't know if it's 1 mile or you don't know if it's 52 miles, but you always have to know that you see it ahead of you, and that's where you're going. I think back, the first thing I can remember, I love it when people tell me I can't do something. That's one of my, that fires me up more than people tell me that I can. Whenever myself and Jeff, we were, wrestling around at home and whatever, all we wanted to do was have a show in our elementary school where we went to school. And people said, oh, you'll never do that. And we did. We said, all we want to do, if we only do it one time, is wrestle in the WWE. Well, we did. Then we said, all we want to do is win the WWE Tag Team titles. At least one time, that's our dream. And we did. Actually, 6 times World Tag Team Champions. And then the same thing goes with the WWE title. I mean, sure, people tell you can't do it, but I've done all this other stuff. They even said whenever Jeff and I split up and broke away that I would fade away into obscurity and Jeff would become the superstar. Well, that wasn't the case. I've made a career out of proving people wrong, and I'm going to continue to do so. And the WWE title, I think if you're in this business, I think that should be your ultimate goal, to be the #1 man in the game, and that's mine.
Well, you're on your way. We have another phone call, and this is probably the biggest Mattitude follower on Long Island, New York. Rebecca joins us. Rebecca, welcome to Bite This.
Hey, what's going on?
Very good.
Hello, Rebecca.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
Oh, hi, what's up?
Good. What's your question?
Oh, I was just wondering, besides Shannon Moore and Crash Holly and now obviously Brian Kendrick, who else do you see as potential MFers?
Well, I don't know. Usually MFers aren't people that I can go scout. It's people that have to come to me. Because as far as Mattitude, like I said, basically in a nutshell, it's the passion of Matt Hardy. And it's hard for me to tell if these people have that passion, but when they come to me and then they make the connection, I realize if they can be a Mattitude follower or not. So there's several people. I mean, I would, open my arms to anyone, if they had the right attributes.
Matt, you have your finger on the pulse of everything that's going on in WWE. Of course, your SmackDown situation. And I know you're more than just a casual observer of Raw on Monday nights. I want to hit you right between the eyes, and I want to get your gut reaction as to what you thought of the situation that developed this past Monday between Lita and Eric Bischoff.
Very interesting situation, to say the least. You know, I think Lita may have a sexual harassment lawsuit on her hands.
Oh.
Basically, it's a good thing I wasn't there. They're lucky the Windows Media Player didn't come up and Matitude started downloading. You know, because Eric Bischoff would have been in for a very unfortunate twist of fate if it had been. But right now, Lita is currently off of Raw. Who knows? Maybe she'll be back. Maybe she'll end up at SmackDown. We'll see.
Well, if you were to make a prediction, could things be worked out between her and Mr. Bischoff, or do you think she's so fed up with what took place this Monday night that she might come a knocking on Stephanie McMahon's door?
She very well may come a knocking on Stephanie McMahon's door. As far as Lita's relationship with Eric Bischoff, she's very proud. And once she makes a decision, she sticks to it. And she is not going to cower for anyone.
Okay.
You know, you talk about Lita, again, I keep going back to the book because I want to know what kind of feedback you're getting from not only the fans, but even the guys in the back. But you talk a lot about the relationship you and Lita had early on, and then early on when she came to WWE. Obviously now, with her being out for this past year, it must have, I know she's been going nuts sitting at home because she wanted to be out there. But how would that what kind of feedback you've been getting for your book, and what kind of feedback has Lita been giving you this past year as well?
Well, the feedback for the book has been overwhelmingly positive. That's the best way I can describe it. You know, most people who've read it just really feel like it's an honest and candid look at the landscape of the business, especially for the last 5 to 8 years. And my whole point whenever we wrote the book, I wanted to make it an entertaining read, but I also wanted to make it where it wasn't insulting to our fans, because I think our fans are really educated, a lot more educated than we give them credit for these days, too, in a lot of ways. And you know, that was a couple of my goals in that. And as far as Lita's feedback to the book, she thought it was good. She thought it was honest. You know, I don't know how she may not have been so excited that I delved into our personal life quite as much, but she's cool with it. I don't think she knew what to expect right when she first read it, but everything's good now.
What about some of the other people in the book, like Paul Heyman, Michael Hayes? Anybody ever give you grief over that, man?
Well, actually, nobody stepped up to the plate yet, but I'm still waiting.
All right. Yeah. Another phone call for Matt Hardy. We welcome your calls at 1-888-LIVE-WWE. From New York, it's Andrew. Welcome to Bite This. Matt Hardy is our guest. What's your question?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, because last time I called up, you guys couldn't hear me. I got a little nervous,
Well, that was because we just had earplugs on.
Yeah, but we changed the tips on our shoelaces, so that's okay.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're good now, man.
All right, I was just checking, man. I just wanted to know. I got a couple questions. I picked up the Matt Hardy book, Jeff Hardy book too. Good book. I got it off of NoHoldsBarredWrestling.com. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were a guest on them, I guess, recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. I just wanted to know that, good guys up there, Jason Barrett and George Farmer, just, wanted to pass that along.
This must be their producer. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Absolutely.
Of course, you can't help plug NoHoldsBarredWrestling.com.
What's your question?
How do you feel about not having a match at Backlash, and who do you think a top competitor for you is on the SmackDown roster for your title?
I don't know. I've pretty much beat everybody. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll just have to retire as a Cruiserweight champion and start moving on to the WWE title. Right now I would love to be wrestling on Backlash, and just the way the chips fell into place this particular pay-per-view, I'm not wrestling. But, I can't complain. I've been on the last three. I was on WrestleMania against Rey Mysterio.
Great match.
Lifted the Cruiserweight title off Billy Kidman at No Way Out. Had a great showing in the Royal Rumble. So I've had a good year so far. We'll take a break off this one. We're going to crank it back up on Judgment Day.
But who would you like to wrestle? I mean, there's still some other people out there in the Cruiserweight division. And as long as you have that title, there's anybody in the Cruiserweight division. One person I'd like to see get a shot at you is Tajiri.
Yeah, I would actually like to get in there and get kicked by Tajiri, because he will kick you, and really hard, right in the face.
Yeah.
Tajiri,
makes you stronger.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, but it's no challenge from Attitude.
Well, let me ask. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Tajiri would be a very formidable opponent. Brian Kendrick too. Actually, I would like to have a little bit more of a lengthy match with Brian Kendrick.
I know that again, you talked earlier in your career that you didn't want to be a cruiserweight. You didn't want to be classified that way. Do you have a little different attitude towards it now, or
well, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Very good. Actually, I don't, because almost the way we did the whole Cruiserweight title storyline was that I was too heavy for it initially. So I think that it worked out where I'm not pegged as a certain cruiserweight or heavyweight. Actually, I think I'm like the bridge that connects the two divisions, the cruiserweight and the heavyweight division. Because I'm definitely not a cruiserweight in terms of the way I wrestle. I have a lot of heavyweight qualities and I have some cruiserweight qualities. But anyway, basically I started at 230 and had to struggle to lose 10 pounds to get to 220. So I don't even really feel like a cruiserweight. I almost feel like, in all honesty, and sometimes I feel like the Intercontinental Champion when I go out because I'm the only other guy holding a singles title in the division. But hey, it's the cruiserweight title, and I'm happy to be the champion. It's an honor.
Well, I'll tell you what. On the line right now, we have our next caller for a question for Matt Hardy. Caller, are you there? Are you there, caller?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I think this is Kevin from Atlanta. Go ahead.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice, Matt, that you're a very attractive young man. When you wrestle, what do you think about? Do you think about, do you ever think about mauve or shopping or anything?
Oh, I don't know. I have a lot of big, sexy thoughts go through my head.
Oh, boy.
The unmistakable voice of one of the good greats here in WWE, Kevin Nash. Kevin, welcome to Bite This.
What's up, Howard?
Oh, everything is just rosy here in the police.
Is the doc there today?
Oh, Kevin, absolutely. Dr. Tom is here. Impart some wisdom to Kevin Nash, if you will.
Kevin, I don't know if I can impart any wisdom on you, but it's just damn good to hear your voice.
Thanks, man.
Anytime.
Well,
how'd they hoodwink you to go there, Matt?
What's that, Daddy-O?
Are you on house arrest?
Oh, yeah, actually, I think I am. They got the bracelet on my ankle and everything.
Right, man. Are you kidding?
No, I'm up here slaving all day at Titan Towers. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I got janitorial services next Wednesday.
Yeah, don't worry. Hey, all I have to do is finish Bite This. I've got to clean the gutters, sweep the sidewalks, and I'm out of here.
I got to change the oil on Vince's Escalade next week.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Oh, WD-40 sometimes works too.
Howard knows.
That's for sure. Kevin, how you feeling these days? We're glad to have you back in the employ of the WWE on the tube. Everything's looking good. How's your health and what's going on with you?
I mean, I'm knock wood. Help me find some hardwood floor. I feel good right now. It's great to be back. I'm just I'm hoping it'll stay that way for a while. Mm-hmm. I've already surpassed my last comeback by a month. So
right, yeah, that's good. Yeah, you got over 2 matches in, I guess.
And time is ticking. You're continually adding.
Hey, I've got to ask you this, man, because everybody wants. Well, maybe not everybody wants to know, but a few people do. What rumor had it that you were going to come back as Diesel? Is there any truth to that? And if it was, what happened?
Well, I mean, I've always been Diesel.
Oh. Okay.
See, it's kind of like an alter ego. But I haven't really needed to put the black glove on yet.
Ah.
So when I
that's
put
the
the
difference.
black glove on, that's like Samson's hair.
Yeah.
As soon as that black glove goes on, then you know it's on.
Right. Okay.
And I got a brand new black glove sitting in the bottom drawer, and I put it in my gear bag. So it may come out this pay-per-view, it may come out Monday, it may come out. You know, as soon as I know that they're ready to merchandise them, I'll have it on.
Yeah, very good.
That's the American way for sure.
You never know when Big Daddy Cool will emerge.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You think Nash could be a MFer?
Oh man, he's definitely got attitude.
Okay.
He's got all the attitude he can stand in that big 7-foot tall body.
Well, being that you keep your finger on the pulse with the Raw group, what do you think of Kevin's match this Sunday at Backlash? It's he joining forces with Shawn Michaels and Booker T to take on Ric Flair, Chris Jericho, and Triple H.
Yeah, it's going to be a real interesting situation. We've got a little squabble in the clique there, I guess. And,
yeah.
Hunter seems to be playing the bad apple of the bunch from what I see on Monday Night Raw viewing. He's changed,
Hunter's changed, damn it.
What happened?
I don't know.
Somewhere that guy went wrong.
Too many big payoffs.
Damn it.
Oh, is that what happened?
That's what happened. Changes us all.
Yes,
I guess it does.
So I've heard. Were you just speaking of big payoffs, were you disappointed that you missed WrestleMania 19?
You know, I didn't actually miss it because I mean, to me, being there live, I had a ball because I got to watch Hulk work, which was great. I thought the show was great top to bottom, and I would have loved to have been there, working. But I mean, it wasn't in the cards, so I'm not gonna dwell on it. There's always 20.
And that's going to be the one at Madison Square Garden next March.
Right.
And that's.
I thought what I'd do is I'd actually bring back, since Scott and Sean had that great ladder match in 10 at the Garden. I thought maybe I'd have my own version of it.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
The first, but instead of a bell, would be the first guy hits the ground and explodes it to dust. So.
Oh, man.
That sounds like a WrestleMania 20 marquee match.
Yeah, it does. And then that doesn't really. You have to actually dustbuster the guy into the dustbuster for the win. So.
Well, Kevin, it sounds like
it's me versus the Iron Sheik.
I can't believe it.
Oh, super daddy.
you're going to test positive before the match. Okay. But anyway.
Sheik's always positive.
Yes, very nice. It sounds like you're having a great time coming back, seeing all the guys, and getting reacquainted with some of the guys you met when you came back the first time with the NWO. But one guy who has made his debut recently and made an impact is Goldberg. How do you feel about Bill being here in WWE, and what kind of lasting effect, if any, do you think he'll have here?
Oh, I was there in WCW when Bill first started, and he's a special cat. I think that he's real believable. He's very intense. He's a one-of-a-kind guy. I think he's a money player, and I think he may be something that we really kind of needed to push us forward. I think we're kind of looking for a missing ingredient, and I think he may be one of the things. They're never going to replace Steve, but with Steve, iffy injury-wise, he definitely he gives us that body that we kind of need, and nobody will ever fill Steve's spot, but it definitely helps.
Kev, do you ever foresee down the road, you really can't predict the future, but would you like to see a reuniting of the Clique at some point in time?
I'd like to see us all not only reunite, but actually work entirely in the women's division.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Now that's
just
something.
Headlock, takeover, get it again.
Yes.
So.
Well, Scott's good at that, I hear.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yes, it works.
Well, Kevin, it's going to be great to have you back in the ring at Backlash this Sunday. Give us your thoughts on the match.
To me, it's I think I've been back at the company now for 2 years and have yet to be in a pay-per-view match.
Oh.
So for me, it's going to be nice to be to have that pressure of being in a pay-per-view match, to be at the show again, and on top of that, to be out there with two of my best friends, and it's going to be fun. It'll be special.
Well, I don't want to bring this up, but I almost have to, because the last time you were in a 6-man tag match, I think that was when you went down with your lady.
I think that was like an 8-man.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was so. Okay, well, never mind. Thank you.
Don't try to jinx me.
Yeah. I don't want to do that. No, I wasn't saying anything about that. I was just thinking about the excitement factor.
Booker T was on the other side. This time Booker T's on my side.
Ah, that was a key. Okay.
And Lincoln's secretary's name was Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary's name was Lincoln.
Yeah,
oh,
man.
God.
If I walk into the building like a skinny, kind of Texas-looking cop with a white hat grabs one of my arms, and Jack Ruby shoots me in the stomach, I may not make it to the match. Besides that, I'm there.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
God.
Very nice.
We have some phone calls on the line at 1-888-LIVE-WWE. Kevin, I want you to say hello, or you say hello to Kevin Nash. Vinny from Pennsylvania.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah.
First off, I wanted to follow up a little bit with Matt. I wanted to just chime in with everybody's, congratulations for him really coming out of the tag team and emerging as a really entertaining singles guy. So I just wanted to add in my compliments and support for Mattitude, and I'm looking forward to see whether or not Crash needs a hot mat injection.
He needs a attitude adjustment. He's a little goofy. We're going to try and fix that.
Yeah, I hope so.
Vinny, you have a question for Kevin Nash?
I did, actually.
Okay.
The last couple of months or so, we've been seeing a lot of returning names to the WWE. Obviously, Kevin. We got Shawn, Goldust. We got Roddy Piper coming back. What do you guys think the WWE is looking for? Are we actually trying to get back to the world of 5 years ago? Or is this a chance to take these guys to show what else they can do? I mean, that was when everybody heard that Kevin was coming back as Diesel. A lot of people were thinking, okay, we're officially trying to restore the world of 5 and 10 years ago. What do you think what do you think is being aimed for here with all of these returning names? Other than entertainment and money, obviously.
Kev?
I mean, for me myself, I mean, I was in a contract. I mean, I was brought back as Nash in NWO, and it was something creatively that we pitched, back and forth whether I'd come back as Diesel or not. And finally, when I talked to the creative team, they thought that since Nash got injured, Nash would return. So, but the Diesel thing, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else's angle because I wasn't on the creative process of it, but the Diesel thing is something that was kind of the thing that made me who I was in this business, and my career, I don't think that I'm on the short end of my career. I mean, I'm almost at the end of this thing. So to me, I started with the company. Vince gave me my first break. He made me Diesel. It brought me to prominence. I kind of wanted to end the last chapter kind of the same way. That was, I think, the top header that we had on that.
Yeah, well.
So, it was more of just a feel good thing. It was kind of like a lifetime special almost. There was sarcasm in that last. There was some sarcasm in that last comment.
Well, your sarcasm is ooh.
Is this the same guy that played Vinny Vegas on WCW in the early '90s?
Very nice, man.
Oh man. Kevin, everything else seems to be going well. It's great to have you back in the rings of WWE. You look terrific. The best shape I've ever seen you in since I've had the pleasure of knowing you. And I personally look forward to seeing Kevin Nash, as always, make an impact on this industry.
It's amazing when you cut your beer intake from 40 a night to 2, how your body shapes up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever thought about going on Fear Factor by any chance?
Fear Factor?
Yeah.
No.
Matt was on Fear Factor.
I wouldn't mind being on the Spice Channel for about 45 minutes.
They got long, Kevin.
Huh?
I think they got a Fear Factor on the Spice Channel as well.
Yes.
Do they?
Yeah, it's a little different from the Fear Factor I was
on.
on. Hey, take a wild guess.
Boom. I do my blue show at 10.
God. Kevin, we have a comment in the chat room from somebody named Sibo214. Basically, it's every goal for a lot of competitors to get the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship. And the person that asked this question wanted to know, would you like to once again wear the World Heavyweight Championship belt?
Absolutely. I mean, it's to me, I don't care what anybody says. I mean, it's still that, whether it's entertainment or whatever it is, I mean, to get that belt, the company looks at you in a certain light. If you hold any of our belts, I mean, it's that you're out there to draw money, and if they put that strap on you, they feel that you can still draw money. So I think it's an indicator that they still believe in you. So of course, I'd like to know that the company believes in me enough, even if it's for an hour, to hold it again. So absolutely.
Good. All right. Well, Kevin, we really appreciate your time with us here today on Bite This, and we'll look forward to seeing you this Sunday at Backlash.
Good deal, man. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
See you Sunday, Big Kev.
Thanks for being had.
Take care, Matt, Doc.
See ya,
man.
All right, Kevin.
See you Sunday.
Bye-bye. Kevin Nash, back in the WWE in a big way, and if I were Triple H, I'd kind of Watch my step a little bit.
Well, you know what? I think if I was anybody in the locker room, I'd watch my step with Kevin Nash, because he's one of those guys, and I think, Matt, you found this out when you first came on. He can be entertaining, he can be charming and engaging, and then cut you like a knife when you're not looking, man. I mean, he's that kind of guy. I like Kevin a lot, but he is a competitor in the truest sense of the word. He's going to get what he needs to get for himself and his friends, and if Hunter's his friend, he's his friend. But when you turn on the Kevin Nash and you want to play games, I don't think there's anybody any better than Kevin.
Yeah, if you want to play games with Big Kev, you better pack a lunch, because it's going to be a long day.
I got to shift gears big time here, Matt. I see a comment in the chat room. This is from Sam173. Matt, what happened to Marty Garner?
Oh, hell of a question. Marty Garner.
I got to bring that up.
Why not?
That's big news.
Yeah, it's great.
Marty Garner right now, yeah. He actually just came out to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He was actually The Rock's guest. He came out there.
He looked
good buddies with The Rock. He just cut his hair off. And actually, I saw him and Murray, one of the old Dubs, and a couple of my other buddies just wrestled last night up in Raleigh.
Matter of fact, Murray said he's going to be with you in the Carolinas.
Actually, he talked about coming out to one of the shows, and I said, come down, you can say hello to everybody.
I emailed him and said that's a great idea.
Yeah, Murray looked great, in great shape, and really got his act together, and seems like he's living life to the fullest.
Well, you know, it's interesting you mention that, because certainly you cut your teeth in the Carolinas, and you and Jeff pretty much spearheaded a promotion called Omega. Back then, and it's not that far removed, it's like maybe almost 8-9 years ago or so, mid-90s or so, and you did everything by yourself. You needed no help. This was a grassroots all the way.
All the way.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm so committed to the business. If this went away or I went away, I would just start small and start working my way up again.
Well, I got a couple of people I'd like to tell you about. One guy's name is Skip, and one guy's name is Zip, and I think they would be terrific.
I know them very well.
Yeah. So do I.
Well,
they just last time I saw them, they looked a little bit different.
Kind of cloudy.
A little cloudy, yeah. The hair is a lot darker and a lot longer.
Yeah. Ooh, speaking of darker and longer, but anyway.
All right.
All right, then.
Right now, we're expecting to also have on Bite this week a friend of yours, I think, John Cena.
Yes.
Who this coming
John
Sunday...
Cena. You have to say it.
You're going to stay with us for a little more?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah. I love it.
If y'all want to talk to Matt Hardy, we'll try and get some calls in here at 1-888-LIVE-WW. But right now, we're going to take you back to last night at SmackDown. Certainly, I know you watched this match with more than a passing interest.
Oh, yes.
This was a match that certainly gave you a kind of a preview for this Sunday, the David and Goliath this Sunday at Backlash, Rey Mysterio and Big Show. Well, last night at SmackDown, it was Big Show going against Tajiri, and let's take you there and tell you exactly, show you exactly, see you exactly, be you exactly. I'm just killing time. We're counting down. Here's what happened. That was a great clip, wasn't it?
Yeah. Tremendous.
You didn't doctor that clip, did you, by any chance?
No.
You sure?
I would never doctor a clip.
Would you doctor the Tom Pritchard?
He doctored me a few times.
Did you ever want to know what Tom was a doctor of? You know what he's a doctor of?
Actually, I don't know what he is officially
Maybe
a
we
doctor
can
of.
finally let the world know what you are a doctor of. I know this could go a long way, Tom, to you becoming a Mattitude follower.
Is that what it could be?
Yeah.
You mean you want me to tell everybody on the internet what I'm a doctor of?
It's up to you.
Well, you're right.
Well, you want to whisper it, that's cool too.
No, I won't whisper. I'll tell you
Just
what.
perching.
Perch for a while.
So
Here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this because I've been here so long. I think I have enough stroke, which I don't have too much stroke around here, but I'm going to do it anyway because Matt Dubas, the gimmick over there. Hey, thanks. Come on, bring it over here.
Oh, look at this.
Please. Yeah,
We're
sure.
getting-
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hey, listen.
Come right in, sir. Come on. Come
No,
right
it's
in.
fine.
Come on. Who can I offer? Why
Matt.
don't you follow up? This is just bend down and look at the camera, will you? This is
why
Scoop
not?
Spear.
We're
Phil
on
Spear
here.
is in the house. Look at this. This is
Here you go. I'll take this. Thank you, man.
this is impromptu television.
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
This
Come
is
on, here.
impromptu
Yeah,
television.
great.
Anyway,
You got to be careful,
Yeah,
Phil.
yeah,
you just ruined the answer the world's been waiting for.
Yes.
We want Tom Pritchard is going to tell us what he's a doctor of, and you come in here. You are never going to be a Mattitude fan.
That's true.
But even worse than that, if Shannon sees footage of you like actually doing something for me, like bringing me a drink, he will try and whip your ass.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he'll get jealous.
Now, here's what
I'm
I'd like
serious.
to do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't blame
yeah.
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Hey, here's what I'd like to do, Matt. If you listen for just a second, I'd like to give some lucky caller a Hardy Boys book with the help of my good friend and host of Fight This, Howard Finkel.
I like it.
You know, if you could come up with an outthink the think
question.
question that someone answers correctly, not only will they win a Hardy Boys book, but I'll tell everybody how I got my name doctor and what I'm a doctor of.
All right, Matt,
Unprecedented.
why don't
Thank
you do
you.
this? Because you are our guest this week, or we are your guest this week, if you will. Give the fans a trivia question about Matt Hardy. Think of a good question about Matt Hardy. You can take him back to the Omega days if you want.
I like
you
that.
can take him back anywhere you want to take. You ask the question, you know the answer. When we go to our break, you give us the answer. You have one on the top of your head?
Yeah, give me just a couple minutes.
All right. Well, we're going to take this break right now. Are we going back to the match? Do we have it lined up?
Super.
All right. I think Arno and Vallo and Matt have got it done. So here we go. Let's go back to SmackDown last night. The Big Show versus Tajiri, and what happened? Paul David versus Goliath. All right, Matt. You know, you had your battle mania with Rey Mysterio, and you certainly know what the Big Show's all about. Pick 'em time this Sunday at Backlash.
Well, since Rey Mysterio couldn't beat me for the Cruiserweight title at WrestleMania, I guess he had to go pick on somebody a little more his own size. So I'll tell you, Big Show is going to be hard to beat because Rey Mysterio is so much smaller. It's overwhelming, the size difference. But in my heart, Rey Mysterio is a tough competitor, and I'm going to go with Rey.
Wow.
I'm calling an upset.
Wow.
Very nice.
I'm hoping for an upset.
All right. Well, now as Cruiserweight champion, let's be hypothetical here.
Power to my brother in the Cruiserweight division.
All right. If Ray gets the victory this Sunday, now, you know, that's a major feather in his cap. Would you grant him another return match somewhere, someplace down the road?
Well, I've already beat him, but he is Rey Mysterio, so yeah, I would.
It's phenomenal.
I would like to get in the ring and have 15 or 20 minutes with Rey Mysterio.
All right. Well, Dr. Tom has offered this book, the Hardy Boys book, to one lucky person. If you have the right answer to the question we're about to give you, email us at bitethis@wwe.com, and all correct answers will be pooled. We'll pull one winning answer out, and that person will get, matter of fact, we'll have Matt Hardy autograph the book for you as well. Okay? It'll be personally autographed by Matt Hardy. Matt, you want to ask the question?
Yes. Before Matt Hardy was Matt Hardy of the Hardy Boys, or Matt Hardy version 1 founder of Mattitude, who was Matt Hardy's first ever WWE's match against? It was in May of 1994 in Youngstown, Ohio.
And there is some, you know, Dr. Tom? You have an idea?
I have quite a few.
Okay, well, it's basically the very first television match that Matt Hardy had when he debuted in this company back in 1994 in Youngstown, Ohio. If you think you know his opponent, send us an email at bitethis@wwe.com, and all correct entries, again, will be pooled. We'll pick a winner out, and that person will get an autographed from Matt Hardy for his Hardy Boys book. Do we have on the line right now another caller? I think we have, sir, is this Red Hook calling?
Yeah, this is Red Hook. I'm begging you to take me off hold. Begging.
I realize that, because right now
What-
joining us on Bite This is your friend and yours, Taz.
Yeah, well, this is Tales from the Hook time, and I'm sitting on hold listening to Matt Hardy push his book.
Where's your book? And
I
when?
don't have a book yet. I don't know, but when I...
Don't you have some books that are overdue at the library?
You know what, Taz? Not only has Howard been besmirching your name, but he said you couldn't even write a check, much less a book.
Oh.
Well, actually, there's somebody else that was from ECW that wouldn't do that.
Hey,
but
Taz, let me just give you an inside comment here. Jets are picking number 4 tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, I know. I was just going to tell you that, Howard. I'm very pumped up about that. I just found out about
Rodney Snabitz is available.
Rodney Snabitz. Well, you know, I mean, I want to welcome Matt Hardy, the sensitive attitude to this version of Tales.
Yeah, man. It's good to hear from you, Taz. As everyone knows, Taz is the guy that keeps my diet together. If it wasn't for Taz, I wouldn't be 220 and I wouldn't be a cruiserweight. This is the man that keeps my diet in check.
Well, yeah, I let the public know about Matt's diet, and Shannon is actually more or less like the cook.
Yeah.
He cooks up all the lobster sauce and you know. And,
but now apparently Crash is going to join them to clean it all up.
Oh, from what I hear, Matt, Crash is a big supporter of banana juice. That's what I heard.
Huge. He actually makes it. We don't even have to buy it anymore. He just makes it. It's homemade banana juice.
So he just whips up a batch real quick. It's that easy.
Yeah. And you thought Shannon was addicted to it? Oh, Crash, forget about it.
I heard you're weaning off it though. You're really cause that's
Yeah,
really,
I'm all the way off it.
It's got to feel.
Well, your weight's plateaued. You're good where you are. I mean, you're definitely you're about 219, about 212.
Yeah,
227.
I'm actually 219 and 23rd, 24th.
Right. Well, no, actually, I'm like 235. But that
See?
being said, so Howard, you're in charge of this shindig. What do you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about Backlash, obviously, first of all, this coming Sunday, Taz. I know as a premier commentator for the SmackDown group, you might be a little partial, you might be a little impartial, but we figured we'd like to get some pick'ems from Taz this week, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I'd love to pick them. No problem. As long as you don't bet. You never want to bet on pro wrestling.
All right. Well, you didn't tell us what's going on in the Hook today. How's the weather and what's happening in the Hook?
Well, as usual, it's sunny all over Brooklyn except on my block. It's raining, it's snowing, it's sleet. Miserable. It's always miserable on the Taz block.
Man.
You know that. You know that already, Howard.
It's
you
brutal. All right, Taz, let's go right to the top of the pile here for SmackDown. Brock Lesnar defending the WWE Championship against what I think is an upstart John Cena.
I'll tell you, I'm a big fan of both these guys' work, and I think they're both two of the major stars, including Matt. No diss to Matt, but two of the major stars on SmackDown, which Matt is too. But I think I got to go with Cena in this one. I think his time. Yeah, I think that I think Brock's a little rattled by Cena right now. If Cena can, not play a power game with Brock, because you're going to lose. You play a power game with him, then you got to be careful of the technical game, because Brock will rip you apart and stretch you with that. If Cena could get in Brock's head a little bit before the match, I think Cena's going to be new champion.
Well, Taz, you also, are close to Brock. I know you've talked to him a lot. Do you think he's 100%, honestly, do you feel he's 100% recovered from getting his bell rung at WrestleMania?
I think so. I mean, I definitely think he's fine. I think he needed a couple of days off to find out which country he lived in and everything and his name. And once he figured all that out, he was good. I mean, he's a tough son of a bitch, I mean, he's a big, strong kid. Matt's been in the ring with him. Matt can tell you he's a very tough kid, tough, strong dude.
The strongest.
And he's a bull. And I think he's fine. I think that's the thing of the past, that shooting star press.
Hey, Taz, let me ask you real quick, because watching SmackDown last night and Brock against A-Train, I got to tell you, I don't know if you noticed this or if it was just me taking notice of this, but Brock looked like he was having a pretty difficult time with A-Train last night. Of course, we saw that brutal videotape of Brock F5ing A-Train on the back of his neck.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that fired him up. That fired A-Train up. And to me, it looked like Brock was actually, he was doing okay, but he had a struggle last night with A-Train. Did you notice that as well?
Yes, I did, and that's a good observation. I mean, I think A-Train, number one, has picked up his game, and when A-Train gets put in a position that he has to step up, I think A-Train is good at that. Hopefully for A-Train, he gets more opportunities to step up. And I think when he gets that opportunity and he has a reason, like getting driven on your head from an F5, and that's the first time that footage ever made television, I think that's a good reason. Also, Brock, I think you're right. I think Brock did have a hard time handling A-Train because A-Train was pumped up and fired up. And also, Brock had to know what the hell Cena was going to do while he was sitting there with Cole and myself.
Right.
Absolutely.
So he's ringside. He's got a lot of variables to think about.
Correct.
It's going to be I think it's going to be, well, a lot of people say that this match probably will be what they call a sleeper match, which means it's going to be a match that, is going to really take you to the next level. I really believe that, Tom.
Well, I do too, and I've got to agree with Taz on the fact that this is going to be one of those times when Cena is going to step up and surprise everybody. But Taz, just talking about variables, I really liked it last night when you told Cole that you'd done some research on Mr. America and found out he's American.
Yeah, that took me a while. I mean, Cole thinks it's a joke. That took me a whole commercial break to figure that out. I found out, and Cole thinks it's a joke.
Yeah, well, I got you, man.
You never underestimate Taz simply because when you're from Brooklyn and when you're from the Hook, you always are going to be a few steps ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
Well done, Taz.
Because you usually got a TV set under your arm while you're running.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, Taz, Michael Cole just doesn't get it, man.
No, he don't get it.
He don't
well,
get it.
in more ways than one, he don't get it.
Right.
Him and Josh, they're both virgins. I mean, Cole's been married, he has kids, and he's still a virgin.
Wow, that's pretty. That's
and that's saying something.
Taz, let me take you to another match, because earlier we just showed a clip of the Big Show with Tajiri last night on SmackDown, and of course Rey Mysterio getting involved at the end. I asked Matt for his selection on this match. It's kind of like a David and Goliath battle, and Matt, out of respect to his adversary, picked Rey Mysterio. Do you agree?
Look, let me tell you something. I don't know about what Matt thinks, but there's no place in this business for a short guy. Okay, so I don't think Mysterio's got a shot. No, I'm just joking around. No, Rey Mysterio he's got so much intestinal fortitude, and he works so hard in the ring, and I don't know. I got to go the other way on this. I think I'm going to go with Big Show. Big Show has been embarrassed 2 weeks in a row by Mysterio. I don't know where Mysterio can hide or run once that match starts in Worcester, Massachusetts this Sunday. I mean, no disrespect to the cruiserweights. I know, Matt, you're the king of the cruiserweights. Thanks to my diet advice and Shannon's ability to whip up batches left and right of lobster sauce. But,
Now, thanks to you too, Taz, your expression, I am the sensei of Mattitude.
You are the sensei of Mattitude. There is no
Credit
doubt about
Taz.
I smell a T-shirt.
Absolutely. Credit Taz.
Oh, yes.
Taz, do you think maybe we'll be able to come out of Backlash this Sunday with new WWE Tag Team Champions when Los Guerreros take on Team Angle?
No, I'm going to go with Team Angle in that one. I don't think. I think Team Angle is so hell bent on impressing Kurt Angle, their team captain who's sitting at home getting back from his neck surgery. I think that Team Angle will come into the match focused. I think the Guerreros are a phenomenal team, but I'm going to go with the youngsters in this one. I'm going to go with Team Angle, and I just think that he's going to excel. And talking about Kurt Angle, I mean, you got to give Kurt credit after having this surgery that he's going to hopefully get back sooner than everybody thought.
Matt, Taz brings up a point that I'd just like to ask while we have this conversation with Taz. You've seen so many superstars go down with injuries. You pretty much have been overly fortunate in your career to have never had a debilitating injury. Does that thought go through your mind each and every time you go in the ring? And does that affect your performance at all, notwithstanding the fact that you always want to give 100%?
Well, that thought's always in the back of your mind. And, luckily I've never had a serious injury. I've stayed injured on and off, as we all do. Anybody that gets in the ring and when your body slams against wood and steel, that's not what your body was meant to do. It's going to get injured. But, one thing I always think about, I try and be a very real person and very realistic. I know that the surgeries that Edge is having, that Kurt Angle's having, that Stone Cold had all these. I mean, there's one day down the road that I will probably be sitting on that table that my same fallen comrades have been on. And that's just a reality of this business, and I know that. But all I can do between now and then is just try and go in the ring and whatever risk I take, make them as calculated as possible and try and stay in the best shape I can. And, go out there and try and give the fans the best show that I can give them and entertain them the most and just, hopefully be lucky and, God willing, not get that serious injury.
Taz, in your career, did that thought cross your mind each and every night you stepped into the ring? Because you were one hell of a hell raiser.
Well, it happened to me. In '94, a lot of people know I just about broke my neck. Same way Steve Austin landed when Owen Hart with the pile driver. Similar thing with me, and I was out 9 months, and they didn't have this new surgery they have, and they had to cut the back of my neck, but I didn't do it. One, I couldn't afford it at the time, and it was the beginning of ECW, and I just did a lot of physical therapy with a physical therapist, and I came back and wrestled about another 8-9 years on that injury, and the injury helped gear me towards becoming a color commentator because it caught up to me. And I know I need the surgery. I know for a fact. I've been told that. But now that I'm not wrestling anymore, I kind of can just, I'm not in a rush to do the surgery because I don't have to get back in the ring. Mm-hmm. But I think that a lot of guys in the prime now, in the age range of from a John Cena, let's say, who was 22, to myself and Matt Hardy and Edge and Christian and the Dubbies, all these guys have done all these TLC matches, and from the Stone Cold Steve Austins, all of the new the WWE Attitude Era, all of the talent now. I think that the athletes are bigger, stronger, faster. Okay, and I think that that's one of the main reasons why you're seeing a lot of these injuries as opposed to years ago, which brings me to a point. Someone this morning, a friend of mine, sent me an email of and I'm not trying to start any trouble here, but sent me an email of something that Jerry the King Lawler was on a radio show, on some internet radio show, wrestling show. I have no idea what it was. And it was just a transcript in this email. Basically, Jerry Lawler was saying how the guys today, all these injuries, it's horrible that this has happened to our athletes, and he's right on that, and I agree with him. But King is saying that the guys need to work smarter in the ring, and I could not disagree anymore. I do not agree with him. To his point, to his credit, he's saying that some of the guys, some of the athletes on our roster are doing too many crazy maneuvers in the ring, which I don't think that's where most of these people having these surgeries, the injuries are coming from. I mean, sure, a shooting star press by Brock Lesnar, that could have gave him neck surgery, no doubt about it. There, I get that. But the guys in Jerry Lawler's day didn't wrestle in front of the fans that the guys today wrestle in front of. The athletes are bigger than they were back in his day. They're stronger than they were back in his day. They're faster than they were back in his day, and the fans are smarter than they were years ago. And it's no knock on the fans, but you've got to tell a story in a match. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm an old school guy, but you also, it's a very competitive industry, and our locker room is very competitive. There's a lot of money to be made or to be lost, and I think that's why you see guys out there banging in that ring a little bit harder than they did back in the mid-'80s. And it's no knock on the people before us today, but I don't agree with what, if anybody on the internet seen or read what Jerry Lawler said. I personally don't agree with him on that. I ain't knocking the guy, and I respect the guy, but I just don't agree with it. And I think injuries happen. It ain't ballet, as all of us know that expression, and it's a shoot. It's the truth. And I feel I'm getting long-winded here,
no,
but I just
that's
went off
quite
on
all
a
right.
tangent. So.
But Taz, you're looking at a gentleman here I think would like to get a response. Matt, certainly a lot of people will look at the Hardy Boys as being innovators, pioneers of a lot of the moves that are high-flying and death-defying and daredevilish. What's your take on what Taz said in response to that?
I agree with what Taz says 100%. I mean, it's a different landscape of how it was, not even 20 years ago, but 10 years ago, 5 years ago right now. Yep. And the way the crowd is now, you have to give them something. I mean, they're paying their hard-earned money, and they are very intelligent. And, no disrespect to any old-timer. Sure, they paved the way of what we do now currently, but if you took the stuff they were doing 20, 25 years ago and put it in the ring today, it wouldn't fly, it wouldn't make the money that we make now, and the product wouldn't survive it the same way. There's ways that guys can maybe work to help prevent injuries, such as being smarter, as like you said, Brock Lesnar not doing the shooting star press, because that's not, really in his arsenal, being 300 pounds. But, like Taz said, the landscape's completely different, and the guys have to work at the level they do today because that's just where the business is.
Taz,
now, Matt, I'm sure you'll agree with this, and Tom, you'll probably agree too. I think in a perfect world, which might happen in our business over the next couple of years, I think that we, even though I'm retired, but I think the boys, the locker room, along with the help of creative and with Vince McMahon and our television production, can re-educate the fan and have them appreciate when a guy gets a good arm bar on you or a good rear chin lock or something like that. I think we need to re-educate the fans, there's no doubt about it. And I think that the major thing that I always was taught as a wrestler was never, and this is, again, no knock on the fans. The fans pay our bills. We all know that. But you cannot have the fans control the match. I get that. I know that. But like you said, the landscape's different. The bar has been raised, and you can't just go cold turkey. You can't go from these high-impact, sick, devastating, hard-hitting maneuvers to, arm drags and drop toe holds. You can't do it that quick. You've got to slowly get there and segue to that and over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think again, with the caliber of athletes we've got with Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle, and of course the younger guys such as Matt, let's go with Shannon Moore and Rey Mysterio, who are learning, again, and you talk about this in your book as well, you only have so many bumps on your bump card. So, yes, you've got to keep it spectacular, but you need to learn and, as you said, re-educate the fans as well as the boys on how to grab a hold and make it mean something,
Right.
and have the people believe it. And also, I'm a big proponent in the announcers calling the holds and calling what the action was going on. I think that's where you and Michael Cole come in and making a really good balance of entertainment as well as education. And the fans will hear that and see that, and that's how it all happens. I think it's going to hopefully get tied together and all come together in the end.
Taz, I kind of agree with you. Now I can vouch for myself, and I think Tom can to a point. I go back 25 years. Okay, I happen to have a tape of my very first ring announcing appearance in Madison Square Garden. Okay, that was January of '77. I watch it periodically to remind myself what we did back then and what we now do. And back then, if you took back then and fast forwarded it 25 years, you'd have as many people in the Garden as Jerry Lawler and Terry Funk did in that one match in Memphis a few years ago.
Oh, I'm telling the
Absolutely
king.
none. And I'll tell, no.
I'm telling him right now.
Well, that's
I'm gonna
fine.
get him on the phone.
I'm just, it's not,
I'm calling the king.
It's not a
me and Matt and Taz are calling the king.
It's not a comparison
All right.
to Jerry Lawler, Tom.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
a comparison to fan acceptance. I watched that tape, Taz, 25 years ago, 27 years ago, whatever it was, and, you know, a finishing move was an abdominal stretch or, you know, a drop kick.
Well, it hurts.
Well, sure it does, but you can see where we're going. You cannot do today what you cannot bring yesterday back to today. I agree with you though, Taz. You know, remember what brought you here, but you got to keep things going, and you got to keep the product fresh, and you have to make things go.
But we're doing, and I believe that our company, the WWE, as a put aside entertainment for 1 minute, as a wrestling company, and both Matt, as a current top talent on the roster, can tell you this, and Tom Pritchard can tell you this from his duties outside of doing Bite This. I think that from our agents from Vince McMahon to creative, especially forget creative, from Vince McMahon to the agents, right to the wrestlers, to the talent, to the guys and the girls, we are slowly starting, and it's coming from Vince, to slowly re-educate the fans, settle a match down when it needs to be settled down, to re-educate the fans, but, you know, you gotta, what's the right word? You gotta sprinkle it into the match. You cannot do it, you can't just do it, you can't go from one style for the past 3-4 years of this high-impact shit stuff to, excuse my language, to just going in there and hooking arm bars. But we are doing it, and we're doing it slowly. And okay, we said Brock with the shooting star. I mean, I get why Brock tried to hit that maneuver. Brock has done it in the past.
Absolutely.
And Brock, it's that holy you know what moment at WrestleMania. I get that, but as you said, Matt, it's not in his arsenal, and he's a made guy. He don't need to do that. But you know what? Hey, we've all done. Well, not really me. You, Matt, have done high risk, crazy moves. You know, I mean, as far as Jerry Lawler and Terry Funk, those guys wrestled a certain way for years.
And a successful way, too.
Well, yeah, well, let's face it, Jerry Lawler, I mean, to his credit in a way, I mean, he's made a really good living and built a really reputable name in the business on not many maneuvers. Okay? You know, I'm being blunt. I don't care who tells them. I'm being honest. And then, hold on, my kid's on. Buddy, go inside. I'm getting hot now.
It's also called magic, Taz.
Well, what do you mean by magic?
Well, you know, you said a few maneuvers, shall we say, but you know, it's the magic of the moment also, and the drama, and the creativity that goes with that magic.
And also,
it's also TV time. It's also when you're in a territory and you're on, you know. We can get into this really deep.
I know. We've got.
I have.
You know, and
we're using the wrong guy as an example. He made some comments. He's entitled to his opinion. He didn't say nothing about me. I just, in my opinion, I don't agree. This is an internet show.
Yep.
Okay, so before I come on the show, I make sure I know what the buzz on the net is, and that's the one thing that I found out via an email from a friend. That he said this, that somebody who works for us said this, and we were just talking about injuries, and that's how this came up.
Yeah.
And I know I'm sure there's going to be some websites out there that has buried Jerry Lawler on Bite This, which I'm not doing.
Far from it.
I just don't agree with him, and I don't agree with him at all.
It's called freedom of speech, Taz.
I know what he's saying, and I think that we are slowly getting there to re-educate our fans, to keep the talent healthy. Believe me, if the talent can stay healthy, they're going to be happy.
Taz, one quick thing, because we're going to wrap this up shortly. Somebody asked a question in the chat room, the Loop 23. I'll let Taz and Matt answer this. Don't more of these injuries come from just wear and tear throughout the years as opposed to the high spots, though they may be triggered by one spot?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, look, well, someone like Lita, for example. Okay, she got it outside of the business.
Yep.
Taz?
Hello.
Taz, did we lose you? I guess we
I think
lost.
those are constant swearing now.
No, he's
There
here.
he
Go
is,
ahead,
yeah.
Taz.
Hey, all right. I'll let Matt answer this question.
Yeah, I mean, just as far as Lita's case goes, I mean, it was a freak accident. You know, basically she was on, the set of Dark Angel, and they were choreographing a stunt, and during the course of this, a stunt person dropped her on her head. Basically, in a nutshell, is what happened. And the way she landed with her neck, her body bent completely the opposite way it was supposed to go over her neck, and she broke her vertebrae in 3 places and ruptured a disc. So she had to have the surgery. Was there wear and tear from wrestling in there? Probably. Would she have had that injury if she came back and taken 2 or 3 bumps? No. It would have took several years, so it was a freak thing. But the majority of these injuries do come for wear and tear, and as Taz knows, he did it all. He served more than his amount of time in ECW. Every bump you take comes off that bump card, and we all only have so many. And the wear and tear is eventually going to catch up with you. I mean, the fans have to always sit back and remember, hey, regardless of what we think of these guys, if we like them, if we hate them, or whatever, these guys are slowly sacrificing their body for our entertainment.
No doubt about it. And the thing that gets me, I know I'm going to get out of here, but the thing that gets me mad is that in our business, we're constant. We don't get an off season. And you
Right.
get people in the NFL, and this is a different subject, but I'm going to say it anyway. You get people in the NFL making sick money, millions of dollars, and baseball players. These guys work half a year. They don't do what we do.
No.
I mean, my body, I'm going to be 36 years old, and I get up in the morning, I'm hurting, man. I go to wrestle around with my kid on the floor who's 4 years old, I'm hurting. My neck hurts, my back hurts, my shoulders hurt. Everything hurts me. You know what I mean? And I'm proud of what I've done. I'm proud that I made good money doing what I'm doing. I love what I did. I did it. I don't want to sound hopeless. I did it for the fans. No, I did it for me because I love doing it.
Yep.
But I entertained the fans while I was doing it. And if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it the same way. I just wish that we got more respect in the sports world for what we do and the injuries and how we're freaks.
I agree.
Society.
Unfortunately, Taz,
Absolutely.
it's an age-old dilemma that we're always battling. But we know who we are, we know what we do, and God damn it, nobody does it better.
I've overstayed my welcome, guys.
Hallelujah.
Listen,
But Taz,
thank you.
you never overstay. This is a great Tales from the Hook. That which spearheads me into my question. What can we expect next week?
Well, next week on Tales from the Hook?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. There'll be nothing in the wrestling. I can promise you
Outstanding.
that.
You got it.
All right, Taz, we'll see you in Worcester or Worcester, if you will.
Yeah, remember, have all you Jets fans out there, we got to get a good pick this
Number
Hey,
4.
Hardy, hey, Matt, maybe you can go to the Jets. You want to play for
Want
the
to play
Jets?
for the New York Jets?
Oh, yeah, maybe so. Everybody else can.
And Taz,
Right.
there's another name out there on the docket for possible Moose Morawski.
I don't know. I probably put him over back in '89.
All right, or Moose Monroe.
I think I'll put him over in 94.
Hey, Taz, have a good one. We'll see you in Worcester.
Adios, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
See, man.
Tom, unbelievable.
Well, you know what? Speaking of how many people Lawler and or how many people Lawler and Funk had in that arena, we used to do that on a weekly basis when I was there in the main event in Memphis.
Did you really?
Oh man!
Did you remember that thing with Jerry Lawler and Terry Funk?
Yes.
It was a classic. It was classic. It really
Classic
was.
crap. Yeah, I said it. Go ahead, quote me. It was classic crap.
All right.
Well, one thing, too, I'd like to add to all that about the landscape changing as well. Also, you're talking about magic Jerry Lawler made, and sure he did, and everybody else did. I mean, because the business has never changed overall as far as what we actually do in the ring, but what has changed is outside of the business, the fans' perspective. Because back then, they said all of this is real. Don't look behind the curtain. There's nothing back there. But now, in the last 5 to 8 years, we've said, hey, look behind the curtain. There's a little magic to it. This is entertainment, and we're going to let you guys in on the show. We're going to let you in on the joke a little bit. So it's a whole different crowd we're entertaining now, and they're a lot more intelligent. They know what we're doing, so it makes them that much harder to appease.
Yeah.
One thing that's really changed in this business too is there is no more ECW, there is no more WCW. There's the WWE. Never before in the history, or at least as long as I've been alive, has there been one company that has been so consumed with top talented athletes, and kind of like our developmental system in OVW. There's so much talent down there just waiting for their turn to come in. And that makes everyone here on this roster fight that much harder. And I know for a fact our next guest spent a lot of time in OVW.
Oh, absolutely, Tom. Our next guest was a prototype of what OVW is all about.
I like to call him a promo type in OVW.
I called him prototypical at one time.
Yes.
And certainly, here is a classic example of an individual that started grassroots like you, Matt, that worked hard, that worked diligently, wanted to perfect his or her craft, went to OVW, toiled, and finally the opportunity knocked, and now the opportunity to become the WWE champion is staring our guest point blank in the face in his own backyard, mind you, this Sunday at Backlash. We welcome to Bite This, John Cena.
John Cena!
What an introduction from the world's best announcer, Howard. You're too kind.
How are you, John?
My voice is a little scratchy. I apologize.
Not a problem. Well, you got Dr. Tom and, of course, our very special in-house guest here.
He won?
The only.
Version 1 is in the house.
What's
Version
up?
1's following is getting too strong. I told him that. He's got too many people behind him.
You got it, man. What's up, Doctor of Thugonomics?
What's up, man?
Hey, John, I got to ask you this because
What's going on?
it wasn't that long ago when you were doing dark matches for WWE. You went out to UPW. You did some stuff for Bassman, which you don't really like to talk about. But the thing is,
I like to talk about it. I just won't say anything good about it.
yeah, right. The thing is that you were doing those dark matches, and I remember you sitting in the locker room, coming back, and everybody would say, "Good match." You say, "Is there anything I can do different?" Or just wanting that bit of advice that's going to put you to that next level. Next thing you know, you wind up in OVW, and you wind up doing all these great promos, and you have a great run there, and then you come in on SmackDown, I believe it was, and let everybody know you're part of that ruthless aggression. Now here you are this Sunday, going to be in the main event at Backlash, in your own backyard, as Howard said. Do you look back on those days, like just a couple years ago, saying, man, what happened? How did I get here so fast?
I don't even have time to take it all in, man. I mean, it's happened so fast, and like this week is crazy. The pay-per-view. I just had a birthday.
The phone calls. How many tickets can you get me?
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's in my hometown. I mean, I couldn't be happier. So I definitely didn't expect this to happen, but this is a business of the unexpected. So I'm just trying to play it one match at a time.
Matt, you've been with us for a little bit, and one of the things that dreams are made of here in WWE is how you take that dream and turn it into a reality.
Sure.
Would you kind of agree with me that here we have a case of lightning fast, rising quicker than in recent memory than anybody else?
Yeah, man. John Cena is what it's all about. I mean, when you talk about where our business is going and what we need to survive and thrive in the years to come in the future, it's guys like John Cena. And I'd like to think it's guys like me. There's a lot of young talent when the guys like Kevin Nash and the guys like Goldberg and Stone Cold, who's out, these guys are eventually going to be hurt. They've taken a lot of bumps off their bump card, and they've done all they can do. And it's time for the new people to move in and step up. And John Cena's been given a great opportunity, and he's taken full advantage of this opportunity. And I'm telling you, man, Thugonomics is going to be running wild before you know it.
A little combination of Thugonomics and basic mathematics.
You got it, man.
Wow, that's a hybrid if there ever was one.
Word life.
Word life it is. John, when did you start to realize that when you came here to WWE and you started out as John Cena and you got the rub from The Undertaker, which certainly was, to me, like a vote of confidence and a stamp of approval, when did you finally realize, well, I think my niche is going to be doing the rap? Because nobody has ever done it here per se as good as you, and nobody has taken it to the level as good as you. What got the bug into you on that, and where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to have some of the creative department overhear me while I rap. I mean, it's not like they came up and said, "Hey, we got this idea, we want you to try it out." Like, I came in and, you know, I was the rookie with ruthless aggression, and I really think that's because...
We noticed about you in OVW, and was your entertaining promos? It wasn't a rap thing, but it was just the fact that you were so comfortable being on the mic, being in front of the camera. And I understand that it wasn't always like that with you. At one time you had stage fright?
Well, stage fright of kind of a different kind. When I was back in high school, my senior year, I finally decided to do a bodybuilding competition. I'd been lifting all through high school, and I've been working hard, and I kind of wanted to show what I had. You know, I thought everything was good until it came really close to showtime, and you realize that you got to dress up in those skimpy-ass trunks, and you're pretty much showing everything you got from head to toe.
Right.
So I got big time scared of that, and my trainer came up with an excellent cure for that. He put me in the middle of a rotary in downtown Amesbury on a Sunday morning where everybody's getting out of church and everybody's waking up and doing their stuff, and there I am sitting in bikini briefs just going through my poses, and people were saying everything from you look great to who the hell is this, we might as well arrest you. I mean, I heard it all.
Right.
So that after that experience and after the whole bodybuilding thing where you're really showing yourself out there with nothing to hide, it was pretty easy for me to get up on the mic and do whatever I do.
So do you think, I mean, did you do any rapping while you were in OVW?
No. As a matter of fact, that was pretty just. Jim Cornette was kind enough to give me an opportunity to be myself. At Bassman's place, I was a little bit more of a gimmick, and in OVW, Prototype was just a name. I mean, I was really John Cena. I had my little attitude, and he let me do my own thing. I felt really comfortable with that.
One of the things that I've noticed about John is his propensity to continue to look different every time he comes out, and this even happened before he attained the rap and brought it to where it is right now in SmackDown. When he came into our live events or our house shows, shall we say, and our television events, every time he came into the ring, he had a different pair of trunks, different colors.
Right.
How many pairs of trunks do you own? Boots and
I got like
5,000.
I got like 52 pairs of boots. I got like 125 pairs of tights. And I got like 85 jerseys.
A whole bunch of throwbacks.
A whole bunch of crazy ass throwbacks, man, with the matching pinwheel hat.
You damn Skippy.
Well, I mean, I asked you about that as well, John. You told me, why you wanted to change the tights all the time. It's something that you thought about a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, I used to like watching guys like Ric Flair. I mean, I used to love even Rick Rude. They would have different stuff on. Like, they would wear the special gear for the special events, or even just a regular show. They would have, Rude always airbrushed somebody different on his tights, and Flair had so many different tights and boots. I just thought that was cool. I mean, I loved watching those guys anyway, but the fact that they were wearing something new, it's like, to me, that was like the ultimate mark of a consummate professional.
For sure. John, let's get into the mind of John Cena for this coming Sunday. Again, a dream come true, per se. You earned it. You advanced in the tournament to determine the #1 contender. A lot of people would call some of your victories in that tournament upsets. I'm sure you'd call it a different thing, hard-earned work, no matter whatever the outcome was.
A W is a W in the book, Howard.
Absolutely.
That's exactly right. They
all right.
count.
Well, let's get into the head of John Cena. What are you looking for this Sunday? Obviously, to become the WWE champion. Without giving too much away, what do you plan on doing, and how's it going to feel walking down that aisle in your backyard?
It's going to feel great. I mean, I got a lot of friends and family that's going to be there, and I think come this Sunday, I'm just trying to prove that there's a lot of folks on this roster, like Matt was saying, a lot of new folks on this roster that are ready to step up. I mean, Brock and I are two very new talents to the WWE, and they're giving both of us a chance at a main event, a pay-per-view. Brock's been doing it for some time, but this is obviously, I mean, this is only my third pay-per-view match. One was the Royal Rumble, and one was quite a while ago against Chris Jericho. So I think it's just sending the message to the fans that the company is interested in this new talent. And, I want to seize the moment and make it as competitive as possible.
One thing I wanted to add, too, about new talent, John Cena really epitomizes taking advantage of the opportunities you're given. Like, I try and do that on my own, and I know John did as well. I remember back at the Halloween party, whenever he was dressed up as Vanilla Ice, and he did his little rap, and then he started doing the rap gimmick, which could have been, for all intent and purpose, just a little comedy or a little joke for a few weeks, and then he'd been through with it. But John took it serious. and he took it as an opportunity, and he made the most of it. And now he's went from being, just a little short pre-tape, a little short promo, into making it to a big deal and taking it to the main event of a pay-per-view. And that says something for John's dedication and what he really did with the little bit he was given. And that's what it's all about here in the WWE.
Absolutely.
Well, let me just touch on that too, Matt, because again, all the guys in OVW, as you know, John, are looking and waiting for that chance and that opportunity. It does their heart good, and it gives them that hope when they see you and Brock and Shelton and Charlie Haas get the opportunity and run with it. If you have the talent and you have what it takes, you will get the opportunity. It's up to you to make it. I just came back from OVW this afternoon, and I got to tell you, all those guys are pumped and they're excited for you as well. So you have everybody proud of you and happy that you're getting your opportunity this Sunday at Backlash. And I got to tell you, everybody's behind you there.
That's cool. I mean, it's good to see that, because I remember sometimes down in OVW before all those guys, I remember the first big group of guys was like Brock and Randy and Batista. Those guys ended up debuting slightly before. They brought in myself, Shelton, Charlie. So for a while there down in OVW, we just thought, you guys forgot about us. We thought you'd get sent there to just do your thing, and although it's a great time down there, we're all looking to do something bigger, and we thought that it was never going to happen. So, I mean, I'm glad that everybody's paying attention to what's going on, and I'm glad that the new talent is getting a shot, and I'm hopefully it's boosting the morale down there and letting the guys know that stuff doesn't go unnoticed. You guys really are watching, and the breaks are there to be had. It's just when you get it, you got to run with it.
We welcome your questions for John Cena at 1-888-LIVE-WWE. Joining us on the phone right now is Eric from New York. Eric, welcome to Bite This. You have John Cena with you on this program.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on, Matt and John?
What's up, man?
Think?
All right.
Yeah, Cena, been enjoying your work the past few months on SmackDown. I was just wondering, do you write your own stuff, or do you collaborate with creative?
No, what I do is, as far as the raps go, everybody asks me that, because everybody obviously knows about the writing team and creative team. So always people say, oh, do you write your own stuff? Creative will come to me and say, listen, we need you to rap about Brock again, and we need it to be about a minute and a half. I'll make up a minute and a half rap. Most of it will be completely not television material, so they'll cut and censor half of it, and then I got to just, it's a process of give and take. I try to rehash with them, and finally we come up on a product that is good for the human ear to hear and is my original stuff as well. So yeah, I do write all my own stuff.
John, we have a question in the chat room from Billy Dodds. He wants to know, when did you realize when you wanted to be a WWE superstar, and what made you want to become one?
You know what? I think I've always wanted to become one. I've been a fan of WWE since it was WWF with the old block letter shiny logo, since the days of Howard Finkel breaking in as the first WWF employee. When I realized what I wanted to be one is when I had the opportunity to train as a professional wrestler out in California, when I learned of Rick Bassman's Ultimate Pro Wrestling School. I mean, I grew up a stone's throw away from Killer Kowalski's place, but I'd never heard about it. I never knew how to get involved with becoming a professional wrestler. I mean, how does one become a professional wrestler? And that was right before all those documentaries hit, like the MTV and Beyond the Mat. So there was I didn't know how to go about the process. And once I found out that you can go to school to learn our profession, man, you couldn't tear me away from the place.
Who were your influences, John? You said Ric Flair.
Yeah. I watch Flair a lot. I like. I got to be honest with you. I liked all the big guys. I liked the Road Warriors. I used to like Butch Reed, Billy Jack Haynes. I used to watch Hercules, of course, Hulk. I loved Ultimate Warrior. I loved seeing these larger than life characters. Because they were truly larger than life. Barbarian, he was huge. Warlord, those guys were out of control.
All right, well, now take me to this, okay? You mentioned Ric Flair at the top of your list. Obviously, Ric Flair is in WWE.
Yeah.
And so when John Cena had an opportunity to go up to Ric Flair and introduce himself, tell me about the moment.
I got to tell you this. I got a chance to meet Ric Flair, and actually a golden opportunity to wrestle Ric Flair and his son in Ohio Valley Wrestling. So myself and Sean O'Hare had a tag team match at a Six Flags event over there before I went into the WWE full time, and it was one of the greatest moments of my life. It was an honor and a privilege being in there with him. Rick is a stand-up guy. I mean, it was like a dream come true for me. It's like, I mean, he's one of the people that inspired me to do this, and to actually meet him is great, but to actually be able to get in the ring with him and work with him was just phenomenal.
Well, obviously, again, it carried over to your WWE career, and one more time, I know that everybody in OBW is happy for you, and I know that everybody on the roster, well, at least most of the guys on the roster here are happy for you as well.
I'm sure there's a few folks drinking haterade down there, but that's all
Yeah,
right.
there might be some haterizers out there.
We have to wrap this up, John, but of course the majority of our chat room people are asking if you could just do an off-the-cuff rap about your match this Sunday and what's going to happen.
Yo, you want to step up, man? You can't fight this. It's Dr. Tom Fink and V1 on .com. Fight this. Step up if you want to talk trash. I'll be stealing the belt Sunday at Backlash. Nothing rhymes at Worcester, so I see you at the Centrum. Nothing rhymes at Centrum either, so I'm going to dent them in the head like I did last week with steel chains. Thugonomics in my brain, I'm running this terrain. You can't see me, it's the caller ID. Sunday I'll be holding the championship of the WWE. Word life.
Yeah.
Word life.
He good.
Big round of rousing applause.
Rousing applause. Hey, John, we really appreciate your time today. I know you're really getting down for this coming Sunday at Backlash, and I wish we had some more callers here, but there are a lot of random callers. So it's just one of those things. If you know
I deal with random calls all the time, Howard. You know what that's like.
Yeah. Hey, if you need another life, you could certainly do answering machine gimmicks for people. That'd be great.
Hey, John, if you win the title too, man, my treat, I'll take you out to Cracker Barrel, Uncle Herschel's breakfast.
Oh, Mama's pancake breakfast. Hold the butter
Mama's
on the
pancakes
hot
if you want it, or even the IHOP chocolate chip pancakes.
Oh, sweet, man. Take it easy, guys. It was good talking to you.
Our pleasure, John. Good luck Sunday. We'll see you there.
Word.
Good.
And I just wanted to buzz in real quick. I wanted to tell HBK Chick 88. I've seen about 35 emails. Thank you for saying the book is great. Very much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you read it. And thank you. I've got your emails. And
Please.
I want to say hello to HBK Chick 88.
Please. And now we'll wait to see what HBK Chick 88 has to say right now.
Might flip out.
Once again, we just want to remind you we are giving away. Matt Hardy is going to autograph a copy of the book. If you can tell us who Matt Hardy's very first WWE television opponent was back in 1994.
Howard, what you have to do is
Ohio.
you have to keep track of that, because I've already seen the right answer on there a couple times.
Yeah.
You just kept
seen the right answer
gimmicking
like
it.
15 times.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Oh, but I thought you saw it. You just kept gimmicking it, and I
don't know. Whatever.
It's not my job. I'm just.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
a
a
special
host.
guest.
He's just here as a special guest host.
I'm just
he's a real guy.
The host of the day.
Yeah, kind of like I'm going to tell Lawler that you said him and Funk drew no people in Memphis. Of course,
Exactly.
we did that every week.
All right.
People at all.
Well, we're gonna take this thing home, and right now joining us. Normally he opens the show, but we're gonna bring him on to close the show with us. His 2 cents column, 2 cents worth column, appears every week on WWE.com, and I mean the one and only Darren Drozdov. Droz, Fink, Dr. Tom, and our very special in-studio guest, Matt Hardy, joins us.
Hey guys, how's it going? What's up, Matt, brother?
What's going on, my man? How you doing, Droz?
Not too bad, man. How you doing?
Great, man. Good to hear from you as always.
Good talking to you.
We saving the best for last today.
Absolutely.
You brought in the big time closer today. Come on.
That's it. Well, we've been saving this. We haven't really talked about it all this much until today. And now we'll ask again, because you were kind of straddling the fence last week. So this week I'll ask you, have you made up your mind? Rock or Goldberg this Sunday at Backlash?
Ooh. Well, I actually put my pick in, but I believe Rock's going to come out on top. I don't know. You know, there's been all the hype behind this match. I'm waiting to see Goldberg in ring. It's been a couple years now. I mean, you know, Rocky has shown us over, you know, these many years what he can do. I'm looking forward to seeing what Goldberg can do now in the ring after this big layoff. So I think Rock's going to come out on top here.
Hey, Droz, what about the Rock concert this past Monday on Raw and Gilbert making his appearance again?
You know what? I forgot to write about that, but I was so glad to see Dwayne back again. I missed the Gilbert. You know, that is the best. The sparklers and the fire hydrants. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah. Matt, what's your take on the Rock Goldberg match being on the outside looking in, per se, on that one?
Just like Droz says, it's going to be very interesting to see where Goldberg stands physically, because it's been so long since he's been in the ring. Rocky, on the other hand, I will have to go on record and say Rocky is probably the most entertaining person in the history of the wrestling / sports entertainment industry. I can't get enough of seeing Rocky stuff. Believe me, I love to see him on the TV. He's entertaining to the max. But when him and Goldberg lock it up, it's definitely going to be a dream match. And I don't know. I would like to go with The Rock, but if Goldberg is in ring shape, I'm going with Goldberg.
Dr. Tom?
I don't think there's any way you can get in ring shape except by being in the ring. And after watching what The Rock did to Goldberg on Monday night, I've got to go with The Rock. I've got to say that Rock, yeah, sure, we all realize it's a big hype deal when Goldberg comes in and it's his first real match here in WWE. It's his first match. But I got to tell you, after being nailed with that chair and having the confidence Rock does, I got to give it to The Rock.
By the same token, I think Goldberg's going to have 6 days to think about all this since this past Monday. And I think, he's coming in, the new kid on the block, for lack of a better term, into his very first WWE pay-per-view match. It doesn't get better against The Rock. And I really think that Goldberg's going to reflect over these, he's reflected over these past couple of days. He'll continue to reflect until Sunday. And I got to disagree with all of you. I think Goldberg's going to emerge victorious this week. And I just think that he's really going to be primed for it.
Well, you can think all you want about Goldberg being victorious, but Draws, I've got to ask you this about SmackDown last night. Let's talk about something a little more serious. Let's talk about Sable inviting Nydia and Dawn Marie to come out to, a bikini contest. And what about that Nydia, man? Can she dance or what?
Okay, Doc, I came clean in my article, and I have to do this real quick. My wife, we had a meeting going on at the house. My wife went to tape SmackDown. When she left the room, the cats walked over and stepped on the TV remote and changed the channel, and I never got to see SmackDown last night.
I'm so sorry. I would have read your article, but I just got it from OVW and had to do a report.
Well, I actually just got it sent in, and I actually went on WWE.com and went through it, and I read about what happened, but I missed that, and I'm sorry that I did now.
Yeah, you are, man. You will be sorry.
What did you think of it, Matt?
You were talking about the bikini contest?
Yes, with Nydia. I mean, she's got this style when she takes her stuff off, and she's a great dancer.
Nydia is a little unique in her style of sexy dancing and a bikini contest type dancing. She's not your usual very slow and seductive stripper type.
Right.
She's a little more charismatic and flashy, but hey, to each their own.
Sure. I mean, if she just was missing a couple teeth, she'd have it all.
Well,
and who knows? Maybe she is.
Yeah, maybe way in the back.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, by the way. I mean,
no, not at all.
Yeah.
Nydia is a good sport.
Yeah.
That's all you can say about her.
But Tori, in the end, came out, and she came out actually in the beginning, and pretty much was making references and moves towards Sable, Draws, and this is the part you probably really I'm sorry you missed. I mean, now we're talking serious.
Because, you're really getting serious.
Now I'm really getting serious. The first part was
heated,
trying to ooze with sarcasm, a la Kevin Nash, but no one does it better than Kevin Nash when it comes to sarcasm. So I kind of got lost in the translation, but I'm wondering what's going on with Tori. She says she does, says she doesn't, says she does, she does.
Now you're close to the scene. You're in the SmackDown group. What are you doing?
What's going on with that?
Give us a scoop.
I think what the scoop is, Sable was trying to get Tori to bite, and now Tori has taken the bait and she bit, but then Sable took it out of her mouth.
She bit. She had that.
So it's kind of a cat and mouse type game, and right now Sable. She's been around the block 1 or 2 times before, and I think
at least.
Yeah, at least.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
thank you.
Draw said it, but not that I'm disagreeing.
No, I'm just saying.
He said it.
Not that I'm disagreeing. But what the whole deal is, she's been around a little bit, and Tori hadn't been around quite as long. So, you may have Sable stringing Tori out a little bit and playing some mental mind games there.
Well, she knows how to play games. I mean, we all know that from the past, and I think we're seeing it come up again. Like Matt was saying. But put a hook in her mouth, boom, boom. I mean, she can definitely play games, and Tori's taking a hook, line, and sinker. It's going to be interesting to see where it ends.
Draws, another match at Backlash this Sunday, and I want to get Matt's take on this, is the one-on-one between Rikishi and Sean O'Haire. Now, Rikishi has been here. He's been a credible, proven performer. I've had high hopes and big aspirations for Sean O'Haire ever since we acquired him from WCW. I still maintain he's a blue-chip prospect, looks terrific, but now he's got a little extra added zest in one Rowdy Roddy Piper. Draws, what's your take on this match? And, Mr. Piper should probably be lurking around this Sunday.
Well, that's going to be the big problem for Rikishi. He's been around. He's proven himself over and over again. And like I said, that's another thing I put in my article. I would love to see Rikishi pull this out, but he's not facing one. He's facing 2 guys, and Rowdy Roddy, as we know, is the king of down and dirty, and he's going to do everything in his power to get his boy O'Hare to come out the winner. And we're going to see enough dirty tricks in here to last by a lifetime. So when it's all said and done, I have a feeling O'Hare will pull this one out. Although I'd love to see Rikishi get a hold of both of them and give him a little ass face, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know if it's going to be as much dirty tricks as it is going to be using the intelligence in this one. I think Roddy knows how to get to someone, and I think he knows how to play mind games better than anybody else. And if Sean O'Hare can use his head and instead of trying to physically get to Rikishi, I think that's where it's going to come up a little bit on the plus side.
Matt, what's your take?
My take on this situation is similar to John Cena's in some ways. When we start talking about this actual match, it's a big opportunity for Sean O'Hare going in the ring against Rikishi. He's got Roddy Piper in his corner. Sean could be one of the big future players in the WWE. And just like John took advantage of his opportunities, it's time to see if Sean can take advantage of his opportunities. And Roddy Piper coming back, if he can be a positive thing for Sean O'Hare in the future, then that's good. And as far as who's going to win this match, it's stacked. The odds are stacked really against Rikishi because Roddy Piper is a very dirty veteran and definitely a master of all tricks. And Sean O'Hare is a very awesome physical specimen. And for Rikishi to pull this out, he's going to have to really do something special.
I understand that. Draws, one other match I want to bring up on Backlash while we have you here, and that's the World Tag Team Championship. Kane and Rob Van Dam going against the Dudley Boys.
Ooh. After what we saw Monday night, I think between the Dudley Boys, even though when it came down to it, they were fighting together. With Bubba or with Devon refusing to get the table and things like that, the dissension I think in the ranks there does not bode well with them, especially going against Kane and RVD. I mean, those guys, have been bringing it together for a long time. I love those two together. I mean, seeing the fire, no pun intended, in Kane's eyes, and how he reacts, especially after winning the belts, and as they continue to work together. With Bubba and Devon kind of on the outs, it's going to be really tough for them, I think, to win the belts.
All right, Go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to say I agree with Draws on this. Believe me, I know a little bit about the Dudleys. Yeah. I've been in the ring. I've been in the ring with them 1,000 times or two. If the Dudleys if they're arguing against one another and they're not on the same page, then Kane and RVD are quite a well-oiled tag team right now, and they're at the top of their game being the tag team champions. But if the Dudleys are working as one unit, then they're hard to beat. They're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And if they've got their act together, then I've got a feeling they'll walk out as the tag team champions.
I have a hard time believing or even knowing when the Dudleys are really arguing, because to me, I think that Bubba and Devon will go to any lengths to get back on top as a tag team. I think that they take pride in the fact that they've held the titles more than any team, more than the Hardys, more than Edge and Christian, more than anybody. And I think that Van Dam is a little too nonchalant for my taste at times. And while he and Kane make a great team, I think that they might be just a little too comfortable walking in the ring against two guys as dangerous as Bubba and Devon can be. So,
very valid.
Very valid. Draws, one other match and we'll let you go. And I want to get your comments also on, first of all, this is going to be about our divas, all right? First of all, we talked to Matt a little while ago about the situation involving Lita and Eric Bischoff. We wanted to know what was in Lita's head right now, considering all the exploits of what took place this past Monday. What was your take on it, and where do you think Lita's bound?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was great to see Lita out there again in the ring. Even though she wasn't wrestling, it was great to see her out there. You could see the fire in her eyes, and she has to be chomping to get back in there. And for Bischoff to come out there, we all know what to expect from Eric. Eric's going to stir things up and cause as many problems as he can. And to go out there and the fire, I don't see that lasting for a long period of time. I believe, she's going to be, like she said, when she's clear and ready to get in there, she's going to be in there. And I think what Eric did was kind of expected. He doesn't like anybody overstepping his authority or even questioning his authority. And, I'm looking forward to seeing her back in the ring. And if she has to leave Raw and even end up at SmackDown, I'd love to see that. But I think, all of us are in agreement. We can't wait to see her back in the ring.
Which brings me to the Divas match at Backlash this coming Sunday. Trish Stratus defends the Women's Championship against Jazz. Jazz seems to be a player, if you know what I mean now, because it looks like Jazz has entrusted the services, Dr. Tom, of one Theodore Long.
She's back in the MAC.
Yeah, she's back in the mag, man. She doesn't like them haterizers either, Droz. Everybody trying to haterize on Jazz.
That girl is one mean biatch.
Yeah.
And that's given. I mean, poor Trish getting slammed face down on the table the other night. I mean, I was feeling bad for her, and Teddy looking totally or Theodore, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Theodore.
Was totally pimped out in his suit there. That's another tough one because he's going to be outside the ring in her corner. And I mean, you know, Trish has all the talent in the world, and so does Jazz. But with Theodore out there, you never know what's going to happen. I see Trish coming out on top, but it's going to be another tough one.
It's going to be a great event this Sunday on pay-per-view. WWE Backlash from the Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts. Droz, just give us now a real thumbnail of what is in your 2 cents worth this week.
Well, you know, every pay-per-view I get on there and I basically give my picks and I go through and I kind of, you know, talk about them a little bit. And boy, the feedback I get is pretty. I've been really bad in recent months. Somebody actually told me I should just start flipping a quarter. So yeah, I didn't resort to that yet, but it might happen after this one if it gets really bad. So you know, we'll see where it ends up.
All right, Droz. We always enjoy having you here on the program, and of course, Droz's 2 cents each and every week on WWE.com. And Droz, I'm glad I asked you one final question because I know Matt will probably talk to you about this privately. Would you like to be a Mattitude follower?
Oh, I'd love to. I thought I was going to wish him, man, the best for the Matt. I'd love to be a Mattitude follower.
Telling you,
and I don't believe his. Yeah, I think he eats too many Snickers bars, no pun intended, Matt, to be 220 pounds. We'll leave that at that.
Well, let me see. I carry my own personal scale. It says 220.
Okay, if it says 220, man, more power to you. Mattitude all the way.
Hey, man, anytime you want to join the group, I'm here with open arms.
All right, brother, I'm there.
You got it, man.
All right, Droz, thanks for joining us, and we'll chat with you next week, okay?
Okay, take care.
See you, Droz.
Bye-bye.
All right, Droz's 2 cents worth on WWE.com, and this has been a very, very interesting program this week, Dr. Tom.
Yeah, because Mattitude was here. Matt,
it enlightened us.
One.
It's been excellent.
I love it, man. Can you be here every week?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to have to start making the flight up here to Stanford.
Oh yes.
Okay.
You
Tell
talk
our travel
about
department
like
that.
jury duty then or house arrest, man.
All right, better not say that too loud. Actually, I said over the whole WWW.
Now, I got to ask our producer, Dat Muda. Dat, what was the deal on the winner for the trivia question, the Outthink the Think? How are we going to do that?
Well, because we...
Nobody had gotten it yet.
Okay, nobody had gotten the answer?
Oh.
That I'd seen.
Okay,
Got
well...
a lot of viruses.
A lot of what?
Viruses in my mailbox.
Viruses?
Yeah.
It's a virus. SARS virus?
You never know what's in that thing.
Hey, I'll bring a little Mattitude over there and we'll take care of all those viruses.
Well, the contest is...
BAM!
Easy, Matt. The contest is now over. We'll give you the answer. Tom, you knew who it was, right? The very first opponent for Matt Hardy in 1994 on his very first WW television match.
Golden Greek Jim Lundis. No! Nikolai Volkov.
Nikolai Volkov?
Absolutely.
And
he is completely correct.
Tell us about that match and your thoughts during and after the match, because that was the first time.
Yeah. I remember it was in Youngstown, Ohio. I remember pulling up to the building and seeing the transfer trucks there with the big, at the time, WWF logo on it. And I was packed in a van with 15 people in it, like a bunch of sardines. And I almost thought as we were pulling up there, I was so nervous. I was going, oh, my God, maybe we should just turn around and go home. I don't know if I really want to go here. And I remember coming in, and that night I was wrestling Nikolai Volkov, and it was only like the 8th or 9th time I've wrestled in a real solid ring, you know, in a real professional match. And I was on live TV, so it was a little nervous. I was a little nervous to say the least. And I remember Tony Gurria was the agent for the match, and I remember he came up to me and said, "Hey kid, whatever you do, you're out there on live TV. You can't mess up." I was going, "Okay, sure, no problem." And then I remember I actually passed Nikolai on the way out to the ring, and I said, "I'll see you out in the ring, kid. Live TV, but don't worry, something goes wrong every time."
Yeah.
And then all I could think was, wow, this is my first and last match.
That's right.
In the WWE.
Yeah.
But it turned out okay. And lo and behold, I actually came back a few more times, and here I am still in front of you. They can't get rid of me, like I said.
It really didn't matter. Was that when you knew you were wrestling Nikolai Volkov? Did it matter did you want to wrestle somebody who had a little more shall we say, a little more agility? Because he was very deliberate in what he did.
Yeah,
Were you looking to show your stuff, or you just took it as it came?
No, I just wanted anything. I just wanted the chance to get in the ring, and I wanted to get beat up. I wanted to take bumps, and I wanted to get pinned 1, 2, 3.
Did you ever wrestle the Bondianas?
I don't think so.
No, I wasn't.
Who was the ring announcer for your first match?
Might not have been me.
I'm not sure if it was Howard Finkel or not.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was
Much. If
either.
anybody knows the answer to that question, I will give you a keychain.
And we're never going to find out about we're never going to find out about the genesis of the terminology of doctor. One day we'll spend 2 hours on here.
One day we will, but we've
get
already been here for over almost 2 hours, and I think this has been the best Bite This ever, and I think that Matt Hardy should come back
He
every
should be a
week,
regular part.
and I think that maybe we could get a fair right now. If you get on your orbits.com and you make sure Matt's booked for the next 3 months, we're fine.
We'll have fun.
We're good.
Now comes the fun part here. Watch this, because I start shilling for live events, and I have no card. Put me on the clock, Tom. It'll
Let's
be
do
1
it.
minute. Okay.
All right, you ready?
All
TikTok.
right, here we
TikTok.
go. WWE live action tomorrow in Portland, Maine. Raw at the Cumberland County Civic Center, and then SmackDown goes to Springfield, Massachusetts, and you'll be there tomorrow, I'm sure, at the Springfield Civic Center. Then Sunday, Backlash at the Worcester Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts. On Monday, Raw will go to the Fleet Center in Boston, Massachusetts. And SmackDown will be taking its trip to Burlington, Vermont. You might see that gentleman who you just saw on the screen. You never know, at the auditorium.
Oh, I know.
And then next Friday, 2 things happen. I'm not here, and then I'll be in Oshawa, Ontario for a big Raw card. Then Saturday, May 3rd, Raw will be in Kitchener, Ontario. SmackDown goes to Quebec City, Quebec. On Sunday, the 4th of May, it's Ottawa, Ontario for Raw, and Fredericton, New Brunswick for SmackDown. Then on Monday, the 5th, Raw will be in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and SmackDown in Sydney, Nova Scotia. I know you've always wanted to go to Sydney, Matt.
Yeah, they love me in Sydney.
They really do.
How many ticket sales do we actually get from this is what I want to know.
Well, let me
right,
finish up.
go ahead.
Tuesday, the 6th of May, we're back in Halifax, so the fans in Halifax get a slice of the best pie, Raw and SmackDown.
They get
Doesn't
pie?
any better than that. They get pie. What's your favorite kind of pie?
Cherry!
There's a-
Whipped cream!
All right.
On top!
Matt, I want to tell you something. This show has been certainly not
has.
that Dr.
It
Tom
sure
and I have
has.
been falling on our face every week,
Yeah.
although that's arguable.
That's right.
I don't buy that for 1 second.
Yeah, buy
But
it.
the emergence, the presence, the mere breath of Mattitude version 1 in this studio this week has certainly, I'm sure the numbers are going to be spiked because of it.
Sure you'll be here for the next couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I wanted to say you guys are really acquiring several of my attributes as we sit here. And basically, it's really easy to see why the show is a success. It's very simple mathematics. You see Howard, Tom, this chair, this computer, this drink, X, any variable, plus Mattitude equals success. Yes. It's very, very simple. It's a Matt fact. Matt Hardy equals success.
Can we be on a Matt fact one time?
I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to get
Put a
by
Matt
this.
fact, man.
I want Dr. Tom and the Fink on.
Put me on a
Matt
separate
fact.
one than Howard, but put me on a Matt fact. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna
I
get
know
you.
he
I'm
wants
gonna work
one,
on
but
that.
I'd like to be
That'll
one.
be great. Hey,
People
Matt,
love the Matt fact.
Thank you.
we
Keep that in mind.
Thank you
man.
very much
Thank
for
you.
being with
I
us
enjoyed
this
it. It
week.
was a
Oh, I
blast.
always
I know,
enjoy it.
Thank you.
I know you had a commitment, and you kind of just held the commitment for a little bit to
Ah,
stay with us.
commitment.
Wait a minute, Dr. Tom has...
One more thing. The Matt fact could be like this. That Matt appeared on Bite This in the longest Bite This on history, and producer and producer Matt Duda was going nuts behind the scenes.
Actually, that may be it.
That's it.
We'll look at
With
the time
Dr.
of it.
Tom. Yeah,
Matt
with
was in the longest ever running episode of
Bite
Bite This.
Thank you.
And our producer, Matt Duda...
Swear to God, I've got to get a time, and that might be it.
Make sure credit me on the thing somewhere.
And
Definitely.
our producer, Matt Duda, and Arno over here.
Yeah.
We just have...
See what I mean, man? See?
We have had the time of our lives here today. Please join us for Bite This next week. I won't be here, and Dr. Tom won't be here. So,
but I'll be.
But Matt Hardy, the one and only, may be here. You never know.
And who are our guests next week, Matt?
Possibly.
I'm going to book them now that I'm taking over the
Cold
show.
Stone.
Yeah,
Stone
maybe
Austin?
Stone
Maybe
Cold
Steve
Steve Austin.
I have no idea who our guests are going to be.
Well, it's on that paper. If you look on
it's
the
on
back
the
page.
paper. Okay.
Stone Cold and I are close. I'll just give them a call, bring them right in here.
Oh, by the way, I have to give props out to somebody.
Oh, my
You
God.
know the guy that's doing the guy that worked the ring announcing for SmackDown the other night?
Yes, I do.
Justin Roberts, whatever
Yes.
his name may be. He came up to me the other day in Nashville and he said, "I really enjoy watching you and Dr. Tom on Bite This." Now, whether that was buttering bread or not,
Tremendous.
I have no idea. But the thing was also, he says, "But I never watch it live. I watch the archives." Tom, what do you think of that?
I think it's great.
Oh,
You do?
Yes.
All right. Well, anyway, I just want to
can't
give a shout out to
I
them.
think it's
telling you.
tremendous. In fact, Matt Hardy has been on the longest ever running like this.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of TFers and HFers out
You
there,
ain't
too.
not kidding.
Justin Roberts seems to
You
be
ain't
one.
not kidding.
Absolutely.
All right,
Well, next week we are hoping to have Stone Cold Steve Austin here as you guessed. Also, we talked about him earlier. His match this Sunday with Rikishi at Backlash. Hopefully, Sean O'Hare will be with us.
Sorry, I'm gonna miss
and maybe we can get Lita on at some point to
Yeah.
get her views and see what's in her head concerning
Absolutely.
the events of this past Monday and where she is headed.
Yeah.
If she's going to, as you said, there's grounds for a lawsuit. There is possibility of maybe just saying, I'm going to knock on somebody's door. I don't know. We'll figure it all out. Dr. Tom, what are you trying to do?
I'm wrapping you up.
Oh, okay. I think we have to leave now. But I'll tell you what, it's been a great week. We really thank Matt Hardy very much for being with us here. How do you do the fingers?
Right here. It's a V and a 1. Version 1.
There
I'm
we
Matt
go.
Hardy, version 1, the true form. Howard Finkel, version 1. Dr. Tom, version 1.
Version 1.
That's it.
And this version is over.
Yeah.
So,
And
for
we
all
will
of
see
us-
you guys out there.
For all of us at Bite This, we really appreciate you being with us here this week. Enjoy Backlash. Don't forget to watch it this Sunday, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.